Hey everyone, today I'm making a biotransport sci-fi stasis pod. It's a mouthful. It's a jar, it's a space jar, out of stuff I found around the house. To be fair though, there's a lot of bizarre stuff around my house. As prop guy, I'm a prop guy, so scales may be tipped in my favor. Anyway, for this build, I used EVA foam, craft foam, one pretzel container, silver rub and buff, paint, super glue, hot glue, cutting tools, sanding tools, safety gear, scissors, razor pens, and a box cutter. I chose this specific container because it's cylindrical. Most of the ones that come across are square, not sure if you could tell. But I found a lid from another trail mix container that also has this handle on top, and I couldn't help myself. So I'm gonna combine the two. To get them to stick together good and tight, I sanded the top of the main lid using my belt sander. The rough surface is better for gluing. Then I super glued the lids together, and after that, I surrounded the plastic with foam strips from the edges of the floor mats, with the puzzle pieces cut off, of course. I also have an abundance of these. For some reason, who can say? I hot glued them in place because it's easier to get away with hot glue on mechanical props like this than rounded armor that has the stress of movement to contend with. Now by this point, a lot of people might be asking, Jake, didn't you do a stasis chamber before? And to that I say, thank you. That means you've been subscribed for about 10 years. Thanks for watching. I did a life-size cryopod out of wood and a facehugger size cryopod out of glass. But those were set pieces, not props. The difference being props are handled by the actors, and you don't want actors running around with props that are made of wood and glass and could give them splinters or severe lacerations. If they slip and fall, you want your prop to act as the crumple zone, not their face. Their face is their job. Also, if they break the prop and it's not your fault, then they just made more work for you, which I complain about on YouTube, but on a movie, those are some good union hours. That's good money. So this is a prop that you can find in a lot of surprising amount of films. Franchises such as Jurassic Park, Alien, Star Wars, probably Star Trek, anything mad science-y. Think Blade Runner, the eye scientist scene, right? Am I making that up? I just felt like a gap in my collection. So I decided to give it a go. And on a personal note, I'm just not comfortable with this guy running around uncontained. So after that was encased in foam, I added details symmetrically along the outside in order to make it look more industrial. They're just offcuts from previous builds. Then I painted the foam black so that it would match the shine of the original plastic. This took 3 layers of gloss black acrylic house paint to accomplish. I set that on a turntable in front of a box fan so that it would dry evenly. Now for the container frame. I heated up some foam strips with a paint peeler, that's not what I usually call it, and then rolled them up, and when they cooled down, I glued the ends together to make a ring. Using super glue this time, I made 2 of those rings, one for the top and one for the bottom, with a connecting truss in between. So this build was definitely not inspired by my need to get rid of the puzzle strips, taking up my foam storage. I do need to disguise them though, otherwise it'll be way too obvious. So I designed these truss brackets for either side and used that as a stencil to cut equal patterns for either side. I cut them from floor mats, then I glued them to the tank frame. I don't want it to be see-through, so I filled in the middle with more strips. This also has the added benefit of strengthening it, although truth be told, the plastic container itself is gonna provide most of the rigidity. And now we have a real basic frame, but we're still not done. I cut some circles to fill in the base. I glued them together and then installed them into the bottom ring. I mean, at this point it's symmetrical, so this is the one that I'm deciding is the bottom ring. I made sure that one was sticking out though. Then I added a bevel strip to make the difference between diameters to be slanted instead of stepped. I had to fill in the gap there. This is all scrap bevel. Additionally, in order to get the pretzel container to fit a little bit better, I cut out a bevel from the inside of the rings. Coincidentally, this is how I made the bevel that I put on the base, but using a deeper cut. Then I did a paint layer, but I had an idea, so before really going for it, I decided to add details, mostly to the base, in order to make it more stable, for one, and also to hide the cutout around the rim. I had some parts to the bottom of the truss, then I got a dowel and cut a length from it. Then I cut out notches and glued them closed in order to form angles. After that, I heat formed the dowel to give it a bend. I placed it inside a tube to cool. Then I added an attachment point to the bent end, and finally I attached it to the base of the chamber so that it would cover up a defect and imply functionality, plus adds a little bit more stability. I added a few greeblies here and there to cover the seams. Then I added more along the rim to bulk it out. I did a little bit to the top ring, but not as much. I'm just trying to match the detail level between the lid and the frame. I'm using pink foam for this, because what else am I gonna use it for? You know? It's all gonna be painted over anyway. Then I painted it with some junk green paint. Sidebar, I hate this paint. I don't recommend it. I'm just using up junk paint that I found in the basement. The lid had literally fused. It had rusted to the can. It had rusted shut. I had to break it off. Now it's just a jagged maw of tetanus. So clearly it's from the early 60s. For some insane reason, everyone was painting everything lime green back then. I don't know what they were thinking. Wait, when was LSD invented? All right, never mind. See, EVA foam absorbs layer after layer of paint. And if I'm gonna put down 4 layers of paint, let's make the first 3 junk paint, you know? I never want to see this again. Not to mince words. Oh, hey, it occurred to me embarrassingly late in the build that if you wanted this prop to exist in, say, the Alien universe, you can just use white foam and not have to worry about the paint. Food for thought. But we're way past the Rubicon now, so there's nothing left to do but power on through. Now that's gonna take a stupid amount of time to dry, but by now the lid is finished drying, so I'm gonna work on that in the meantime. To make it look metallic, I'm gonna use Rub and Buff Metallic Finish, solely because it's too cold to paint outside right now. Normally I'd use spray paint, you gotta use that outside. It's a whole thing. Rub and Buff is great because it makes a prop look worn and weathered, but this specific prop is supposed to be out of a lab, you know, a pristine, sterile environment. There shouldn't be wear and tear. But I don't know, I mean, maybe it's a lab that's been abandoned because one of the experiments got out, and there's your inciting incident right there. That's how you make a movie. At any rate, I'll paint outside when the sun comes out. You know, when the thermometer gets in the double digits, without a minus sign next to it. When the junk paint had dried on the tank frame, I gave it a top coat of gloss black, acrylic house paint. After that had dried, I gave it too a once over with the Rub and Buff. I moused off the hose because I thought that looked better black. Looked kind of weird silver, you know? And the finish sets up pretty quickly, so I was pretty much done. I inserted the pretzel container, screwed on the lid, and I was done. That's how to make a stasis pod. Now you can smuggle embryos off of Isla Nublar. Yay, corporate espionage! Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, I'd like to thank my patrons. These videos just wouldn't be possible without the support of my patrons. So if you enjoy these builds, want to see more of them, and want your build request to carry a bit more weight, then think about heading on over to the Patreon page, where you can enjoy ad-free early uploads. Anything you can pledge goes towards improving the video quality and shop equipment, as well as allowing me to put together bigger and more exciting projects for you on the channel. Alright, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified of the future uploads, because it's kind of at a totally random schedule. And let me know what other props you'd like to see me make in comments down below. Thanks again, happy crafting, see you later!